Hello, Moose back again with his morning coffee, and today I want to talk to you about how I write songs. I know over the weekend I was just straight vlogging. You know, I had just had to get everything out there and whatever. You guys know I like to keep it raw like this. You know, I can do all the fancy little graphics and edit and stuff like that, but I think it's better this way, and you guys told me it's better this way, that you like watching it this way, because you know that it's all real and whatnot. So, been getting a lot of feedback from you guys and different things you want to know. And I thought it would be good today to talk about how I write songs. Now, I mean, on my channel, I typically do covers, punk rock style covers. It's not all punk rock. I still get comments on my older videos like, come and get your love. Like, this isn't punk. It's like, dude, it's a username. Like, obviously it's not punk. It's pop punk at best. More pop rock, really. But if you're new, I'm dropping wood. If it's your first time watching the channel, obviously you figured out I keep it very raw. But I usually do these while I'm building my morning fire, because that's how I heat my house. And it's a good time to talk about this stuff. Drink coffee, build a fire. Makes sense to me. So anyways, how I write songs. It's actually a pretty tough one to cover, because it's different every time. I'm going to get into more detail, because I think there are a few specific ways that I do it that I usually gravitate to. I do challenge myself with different things, because that's how you keep it creative and how you come up with new things and all that stuff. So, you know, there's that. But generally, when I write songs, I do not start with the lyrics. And to be honest, most musicians I've talked to or talked about this to, it's kind of the same thing, really, isn't it? It's 50-50, it seems like. Yeah, that'll work. So some start with the lyrics and some start with the music. And actually, a matter of fact, I do both at like the same time. I've kind of always been that way, and a lot of people would always, like, when I first started writing songs and playing music, a lot of people told me, like, nah, bro, you got to start with the lyrics. And I'm like, I mean, I would try it, but I don't know. I just, they kind of just come to me when I have music to write a melody to, you know what I mean? Like a melody being like the way that you sing it, the lyrics. You know, I mean, you guys know I will overanalyze things and overthink it and whatever. Now, as an adult, I know, like, that's just how I am, and I just roll with it. But like I said, too, sometimes I write lyrics first, and a completely different style of song or whatever comes out, and that's good, too. You know what I mean? So I would say, if you're inspiring to be a songwriter, I would say start with what feels right to you, and also don't be afraid to challenge yourself. So if someone says, like, nah, you got to start with the lyrics, don't be afraid to try and start with the lyrics. but also, like, you know, you don't have to take it as the gospel of the Lord either. um, you know, I would like to emphasize on challenging yourself. And to be completely honest, I mean, this goes with anything. You know, if you're at your corporate job and you're trying to figure out, like, how to get your staff more excited or something, you're a manager. You know what I mean? Like, try different things. Just because you went to school for business or something like that doesn't mean, like, it's correct. You know what I mean? Like, you have to, as kind of what I think the problem is with, like, a lot of things in society in general, especially these days, is like, there's data out there and people don't even want to, like, take it into account. So, like, if you try something, if you feel like it should have worked, you know, like, you're managing your team, you're starting a business, you started a business, you're a manager or whatever, and it doesn't work, you're a songwriter, and you put it out there, and it's like a really good song, you know what I mean? Like, you sang it well, the chords are great, you're in love with it, but it doesn't, like, resonate. Tweak it a little bit, you know what I mean? See what works. Then again, if you're writing songs, because you like to write songs, if you just want to write fast punk songs or whatever, you don't care if the guitar's out of tune, you don't care if you're singing well, you're not even trying to sing, and you put it out there, or, you know, you wrote one and you posted it, or even if you didn't post it, whatever. If that's your goal, boom, you won. Personally, I think it's more exciting when you can get something you've created to resonate with people, to, like, make them feel it. Specifically for me, a song. But anything I create, you know, like, I did my song this year, which was a song that I wrote, was on my Christmas EP. It was the only original on there. The rest were covers. The song came out first, but then I did a music video for it. And I asked my following, like, hey, send me videos and pictures to be in the video. And I put it all together. Thank you, everyone, by the way. I know I said thanks a million times, but I put it out there. So many people said to me, like, dude, like, this was already a good song, but with the video, like, it just hits you so much harder. Like, well done. You know what I mean? So I want it to, like, resonate. You know what I mean? So, and I think you can get things to resonate if you just keep trying. You know what I mean? And I know I keep saying about, like, content or whatever, but getting a little off subject, I think. But I was trying to, like, wrap it back around there, and I was like, wait, I'm kind of stretching here. I'm trying to make it work. So what have I said so far? I said, when you write a song, do what's right to you. Do not be afraid to think outside of your box. So if you're never mind. I have a joke about that. We're just gonna let that go. You know, I started out playing bass, and all I had was a bass guitar when I first started playing and writing, and that's what I wrote songs on. Now I have, you know, a few more instruments. I've tried starting writing a song on drums. You know what I mean? And you guys know I'm not a drummer. You probably saw the keyboard I have out there. I see my music theory better on a keyboard for some reason. I mean, I can play my chords, but I'm really not that good of a pianist. But I'll dabble with that to just challenge myself. And it doesn't have to be like a pretty piano, whatever. Like, if I can just write the chords, you know, and then when I translate it over to guitar, you know, just make a voice memo or something so I don't forget. Translate it over to guitar, like, it's probably going to end up being faster because that's just how I write stuff, right? But I think for the most part, to answer the question of the title of the video, how I write songs, I almost always start, I don't know, I just start jamming. I might have a melody idea in my head, just something like, so just like that, like I was trying to make it simple, so I was trying to find the 1, 5, 4 chords. But just with that, like I came up with a melody idea, and I had some lyrics that popped out, and I was just playing over a chord progression. So like there's an idea right there. There's the start of the foundation, if that makes sense. And I'll kind of just build off of that, you know what I mean? So what it was like, so right there, I'm getting a bunch of ideas already. So it's like, I was trying to think of, my brain kind of moves fast. So I was playing like 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 4, 5, 1. Very standard chord progression, you know what I mean? Like dun, 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 dun. It's all the major chords in a major scale. So, but I've started, was like, okay, that's been done a lot. What else can I do? And I moved to that 6. You know, that might be cool to do, like some sort of build up, you know. And I mean, I know I'm not doing anything outside of the box. I'm just, this kind of like examples, right? I'm still singing. It sounds like I'm still singing that same melody in my head though. So like that might be a good melody to use. You know, but just to kind of answer the question, I mean, for how I write songs, I get ideas and I build it all together. It's almost weird to me to just write lyrics and then write the music, like step by step. I mean, if that's how your brain works, like by all means, do that. For me, it's kind of like the way my brain works. I'm trying to think of a good example that might make sense. If my so if you guys know, have been following me for a little bit, I built a garage, like a workshop, 2 summers ago. And before that, I was drawing up plans for like 2 years or so, right? Like we bought this place 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and like when we were looking at houses, right? Like my wife had some criterion stuff. I was just like, all I want is a workshop and like some woods. Like the house could have been a little box. Like I didn't even care. Like I wasn't worried about square footage. Like I just wanted a place where I could put my tools and like build contraptions and then just ride them in the woods. Like that's what I wanted, and a space to fix it. Of course, this place didn't have that, so I built one. And I was like, well, since I get to build it, and I had a budget, you know what I mean? I had to keep it within I had criteria, personal criteria, financial criteria, whatever. I had to make it work. So it was sort of, I came up with a plan, and you can do that with a song too. I find that it helps challenge me a little bit. Like I'll hear a song on the radio. Sorry, I know I'm kind of getting a little scatterbrained, but this will all come together. I'll hear a song on the radio like, oh, I like the way that they went from this chord to that chord, or how they used this borrowed chord that was, I don't know, a step and a half. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. You know, they used the sharp 5 with a major 7 or something, like just whatever I hear, right? And I'll write that down on my phone. And then later on, I'll come up with ideas. So I'll be like that idea I just came up with, like, oh yeah, this is a good song. I'm trying to like tweak it a little bit. And I'll go into those notes and be like, oh yeah, I remember that song, how they did that sharp 5 with the major 7 or something, right? And I was like, it would be cool. I still like that. I want to try and incorporate that somehow, but differently in my own way. But a lot of times it's more than just that one idea. Sometimes, a lot of times actually, it's multiple ideas. Like, I have a note right now, like I want to use every chord in a scale for a song. So the reason why I'm telling you all this is like I'll write, it's kind of like drawing my plans like for my workshop. But I'm also like, I was also building things to experiment and see and get a visual on it. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? So like right there, I had that idea that I just wrote on guitar. Just picked it up and started doing it. I'd go through my notes, and start making a plan in my head of like, okay, it would be cool to like stick within this criteria, because then it makes you think harder. It's actually another good point. A lot of if you have a laptop or probably even a phone now at this point, which I think everybody does, the apps that you can use to record and make songs. I mean, we have access to any instrument ever. You know what I mean? I mean, there was a point, when I was recording, like I have a little basket over here. It has some percussion. There's a tambourine and a shaker in here. I'll still do it that way. And sometimes I'm just looking for a sound that's just not that tambourine or that shaker. I have access to any sounding shaker and tambourine like ever. So with having access to any instrument, any sound ever, it almost, you would think like anything, like the world is your oyster, but sometimes it makes it more difficult. You know what I mean? It would almost be like earlier I gave like the example of like you're starting your own business and you're trying to get your team to like be on board. There we go. Fire's going good now. I heard it rumbling. It would be like you started a business and you're trying to get your team on board and doing what you need them to do and whatever, but they're not. And you might be someone that has very well off financially, right? So your solution might be like, well, everybody's quitting, so I'll just pay them more. Which I think was, when I worked at the hardware store, I think that was the owner's solution. And he didn't realize, like, I just know from, being friends with other employees, like that was always the thing. We would just be like, this, that, and the other sucks. The way this person does this, the way that, he does that or she does this and stuff. And it's like, they don't even realize how stressful it was making it, and the money was not worth it to a lot of people, and that's why he was having such a high turnover rate. It's like, the money's good, that's why we're here, that's why we're trying to stick it out, but like, when it makes your life a living hell, like no one wants to do that, and people can only put up with so much of it. You know what I mean? So just throwing money at the problem, or songwriting, for instance, and we're talking about songwriting, just throwing technology at it, like oh, I have access to any instrument, like I'll just, I could do whatever. Limit yourself a little bit. Say like, I'm going to write a song that has organ in it, and I've never played the organ before. It helps. You start learning something. It just helps you be more creative. So I guess what you could take away from this video, because I don't want to start rambling on too much. Do what you think. Do what feels comfortable with you. It's okay. You got to start somewhere. So do what feels comfortable for you. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself. Don't be afraid to hear what other people have to say. Take it with a grain of salt, of course. Someone might not, someone can give you an idea and you can easily dismiss it as like, what the hell do they know? You know what I mean? But some people have great ideas and they're not a songwriter. Maybe they inspired to be at one point and they never followed through with it because they got caught up in the machine or whatever. Or whatever. I mean, you just never know. Everybody has a creative side to them. It's just some people pursue it more than others, and everybody has different talents and whatever. But so never be afraid to hear out what someone has to say. I mean, it might not be that exact thing, but something good could come out of it if you just try it. It might spark another idea that makes the song a freaking, slap. Think outside of your box, and also limit yourself. You don't have to do all these things at once, of course. I mean, I don't, I mean, sometimes I do it all at once. Sometimes I just do a little bit. Like one thing I'm trying to do right now, because I'm going to be having an original album come out in spring. I'm shooting for spring. I have a bunch of songs, but I'm going to really start deep diving into, once Christmas is kind of over, because I'm still kind of trying to squeeze out what's left of the Christmas EP. Because I put a lot of work into it, you know what I mean? So if I can find as many people as I can that's into that. Anyways, one thing I've been doing, for some reason, I remember someone telling me a long time ago that if you can play a song, or if a song is played on acoustic guitar and sung, no harmonies, no other instruments, just one person, guitar and vocals, that is a good song. If it still sounds good, that's a good song. I don't think that's always the case, but there is some truth to that, I think, and I think that's probably why I remembered it, right? And I was kind of just jamming on my acoustic the other day, and I started playing one of my songs, and that probably sounds egotistical, but I was just jamming, right? And I started playing one of my songs, and I was just like, man, I like this. It wasn't on acoustic. I'm like, this is if I ever do an acoustic album, I'm going to put this song on here. This is like really good. I like this. And that's when I remembered that. And so lately I've been trying to just write a song on an acoustic guitar. Like entire song on acoustic guitar, like to where I like it, and then just basically like punk rock cover my own song. like punk goes acoustic, or acoustic goes punk, or however you say it. But yeah, I mean, I hope that helps. I hope that's some advice. I hope that helps you guys like write some new music and put it out there. And of course, please show it to me. I want to see it. I mean, if you want feedback or whatever, I mean, I gave you my 2 cents. I'm just a dude on the internet. And for all of you that just watch me because you're into me and you like listening to me talk, thanks for hanging out. I hope you learned something. That's how I write songs. If you want me to cover more or anything more specific, please let me know. Or anything else, please let me know. The same thing I said with writing songs. I like writing songs that that vibe with people, or whatever it was that I said. It's the same thing with these videos. Like I like making them and all that. And of course, like, the last few days I was dealing with some haters again, and like I hate that side of it. But like at the end of the day, I realized I like just making things to be entertaining. I like making people laugh. I like trying to help people and educate with what I know, and educate by putting myself out there and making a mistake that other people can learn so they don't have to make that mistake. So yeah, let me know. As always, thanks for the support. If this is your first time watching, thanks for sticking around this long. I have a new EP out called Yule Log and Power Chords. It's punk rock covers of Christmas songs, and I have one original Christmas song on there. It's under Punk Cover Moose. I'm Punk Cover Moose everywhere. This channel, Instagram, YouTube, all that. So yeah, I'll see you guys. I do this daily, so sometimes it's a vlog, sometimes it's topics like this. So, yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Stick around, subscribe to see some more.